Good afternoon. Two splendid matches for you today from the First Division of the Cannon League. Watford against Tottenham and Newcastle United against Norwich City. Well, at Watford, it seems that if you want to get ahead, get a hat. Although manager Graham Taylor hasn't quite caught up with that fashion yet. The England manager Bobby Robson, though, was catching up with the action at Newcastle. Could Chris Waddle, that exciting young striker, be the man he was watching? His form this season has been quite exceptional. First, then, it's Watford against Spurs, and our commentator at Vicarage Road in Watford was Peter Brackley.
The Watford crowd acknowledge a highly satisfying November for Watford and their manager Graham Taylor, the First Division Manager of the Month award, reflecting their excellent recovery after such a poor start to the season. In fact, having failed to win any of their first 9 league games, Watford have now won 5 of the last 6, coinciding with the arrival of central defender John McClellan from Rangers. George Riley in trouble with the FA after his controversial clash in the tunnel at West Brom. He's leading the Watford attack today after being substitute last week, and Nigel Callaghan is preferred to Worrell Sterling. Tottenham's manager, Peter Shreeves, could hardly contain his delight at the resolute UEFA Cup display in Prague, but the European trip has taken its toll. Glenn Hoddle is missing today, suffering from a thigh strain, as well as that severe facial injury. Mike Hazard is still injured. Ozzy Ardile is still not ready, so Hoddle's place again goes to Gary Mabbott, who replaced him just before half-time on Wednesday. And today's referee is Jim Borrett from Norfolk. Well, a marvellous atmosphere here then as Watford kick off from left to right. Both matches between the two teams, incidentally, ending in 3-2. Last season, as Riley goes through, whistle had gone anyway. Watford winning at White Hart Lane and Tottenham winning here at Vicarage Road. And certainly their recent form suggests that today's meeting should be no less adventurous. But Tottenham certainly had a few bumps and bruises to nurse after that very physical match in Prague. And it'll be interesting to see what effect that might have against a Watford side that will surely keep them fully occupied. This is Callaghan. Galvin in with the tackle. Newton finding Falco. There was Lees in it. Galvin. Stevens. Tottenham have got players forward here. This is Falco. Only just wide of the far post. Mark Falco has been in splendid form. 4 goals in the last 4 games. This after a barren spell of 12 games without a goal. Certainly looking very sharp now. Barnes. Blissett on the run. Tottenham struggling to get back. Clements couldn't hold on to it. That was a good break then. And Luther Blissett close to giving Watford the lead. Sent away by Barnes, and the shot fumbled by Clements, but fortunately for him, he was able to scramble on top of it. Brooks with McClellan. Foul by the Watford defender. Brooks trying to take it too quickly. Garth Brooks back at the Tottenham side with Clive Allen out through injury. There's certainly plenty of competition for places at White Hart Lane. Kick. Roberts was the target. Falco! It was Roberts who climbed at the far post and Falco who finished it off. And that was an excellent piece of opportunism by a man very much in form. Perman with the free kick. They hadn't spotted Roberts, who made his run there. And Falco coming in, struck it sweetly. 15 minutes gone, and Tottenham have taken the lead. As Crooks goes racing through with McClelland. Beyond Coton, Crooks. Coton did well to get back there. McClelland rather put him in trouble. Crooks was almost in for a second goal, just a matter of seconds after Falco's opening goal. It's goal number 17 for Mark Falco then this season. Free kick to Watford then, in what looks to be a precarious position here for Tottenham. We have plenty of dead ball specialists in the Watford side. John Barnes is there, who scored a spectacular goal at the Hawthorns last week. Nigel Callaghan too, and also Sinnott. Now will Barnes try to curl one here, or perhaps a drive from Sinnott, or from Callaghan. Curled off the ball! Well, Graham Taylor believes that Callaghan is the best dead ball specialist in the game. And he emphasised the point there. That was brilliantly struck. Decoy run from Barnes, curled away there by Callaghan. Clements was beaten, but off the bar. Well, this is developing into an excellent first half. Riley, Barnes who got the earlier flick on, I think. Rostrom pumping it in, and they're offside. Great excitement here. I need to tell you who that is, sitting next to Graham Taylor, with what looks to be a safari hat on. Elton John won't be too pleased with the score, but I'm sure he'll be enjoying the entertainment. So again, Watford will look here for the strength of Lee Sinnott's throw. The height of George Riley in the 6-yard box. He'll certainly be the target. There he is. Clements coming for it and fisting it away. George Riley always a menace in the air. He's now on the near post. Callaghan with the chip in. Clements with a good save from Barnes. Read the angle perfectly. A little bit of a skirmish in the goal mouth, but more enthusiasm there than anything. It was Barnes who got the header on, and Clements saving well, as Terry, I think, rather lunged out at him. Jacket. Away by Perriman. Mabbott in firmly there with Taylor. Rostrom beaten by Tredozi. Now for Crooks. Can this be two? Well, the opening was there for Garth Crooks, set up by Tredozi's speed. Took the ball off Rostrom. Finds Crooks here, and he can't convert the opportunity. Jacket to Barnes. Now can he take on defenders here? This is Blissett. Mabbott was in very quickly. Tredozi only half away. Blissett. Blissett with the shot. Beaten away by Clements. Just found enough room for the shot then, Blissett. Drove it in. It's a good piece of control here. He's giving himself that yard of space, and Clements right behind it. Watford will take heart from that. And how dearly they'd love a goal now before half-time. Callaghan, Riley was up there. I think came off a defender in the end. Mighty scramble. Kenny Jacket was in there. All from the corner by Callaghan. Now, just going wide off a deflection. Callaghan again with the corner. Clements this time coming for it. This is Rostrom. No flag. The Tottenham players pointing to Blissett. He certainly appeared to be in an offside position, but there was no flag. Abbott's header on towards Galvin here. Callahan, Riley. Chidozie. Cute. Brooks with Falco. Now Hugh. Still Hugh. Can he finish? Oh! What a brave run by Chris Hugh. And he's scored a couple of goals this season. He was very near to another one there. Good interchange here. That's Brooks. Falco involved, and Houghton going on, and then just stroking the ball wide. Certainly there have been plenty of chances at both ends, as you'd expect from two attack-minded sides. As we go now into the last minute of the half. Riley, Blissett, still Blissett, but in the end the way to goal was blocked. Callahan, Watford finishing the half strongly. Clements just managed to hold on to it as Barnes came storming in. Callahan again testing the Tottenham defence. A swerving shot. Clements couldn't hold on to it there, but did at the second attempt. Free kick, perhaps the last chance of the half now for Watford. Deep in now to injury time. Riley just touched it on. Was that a hand there? Callahan. Clements going down. A suspicion perhaps of a hand ball there in the penalty area. The ball certainly bobbing around extremely quickly. Was that handball? In the end, the save from Clements. Watford denied. Well, Graham Taylor said Tottenham will have to play well to beat Watford today. And at the end of an eventful first half, Tottenham will feel they've got enough to deserve the one-goal lead earned by Mark Falco, but enough opportunities at both ends to suggest this game really could go either way in the second half. At half-time, it's Watford 0, Tottenham 1. Certainly plenty for the crowd here at Rickard Road to enthuse over during the first half. So then away go Tottenham. Only one goal so far, but Watford's record suggests that we could be in for a few more yet. Their 18 previous league games have produced 72 goals. It's an average of 4 a game, and Watford had scored exactly half. Riley with the header on. Here's Barnes. Certainly much could depend on John Barnes in this second half. If anyone can open up the Tottenham defence, it's Barnes. A player of immense skill. This fellow's quite useful too. Chidozie. Has he the pace? Oh, well, he had the pace, but not the finish. Away from the defender. Chidozie was so nearly through there. Taking on Terry, striding away from him. And then Terry just got back at the last moment with Coton there as well. Terry is still down injured after that collision there with John Chidozie. So Chidozie then with the corner. Terry seems to be all right. Roberts. Roberts again. Rather ambitious. Graham Taylor down on the bench for the second half, and he refused to panic when results went against Watford in the early stages of the season. He believed the team were good enough to come through, and they've certainly proved that in recent weeks. Stevens. Rostron taking no chances with Chidozie in attendance there. Player with a lightning burst of speed. Rostron away. Very lively opening first 5 minutes of the second half. Perriman. Galvin going in. And Crooks. Must be. It is. 2-0. And Garth Crooks has scored Tottenham's second goal. A beam from Crooks. Just 5 minutes into the second half. And Garth Crooks with his 9th goal. Well, I wonder if he's put this game beyond Watford now. Galvin may have just got a touch there, and Crooks guiding it into the far corner. So Watford 0, Tottenham 2. And Garth Crooks, who has such a fight on to keep his place in the side with Clive Allen, due to return from injury fairly soon. What better way to stake your claim than to score a goal? Riley. Now Blissett. Tottenham have got plenty of defenders back, but here's Barnes. A deflection off the post. Deflected by Blissett. The shot from Barnes. Well, the two of them exchange a smile. They'll be so disappointed there. It certainly came off Blissett and then off the post. Riley for Rostron. It's Barnes away to his left. Here's Barnes now. Plenty of yellow shirts in the middle. Steve Perriman timed his tackle perfectly. And in fact, a goal kick. No, a corner. That's Steve Perriman playing with the crowd over there. It's Callaghan then with the corner. Clement staying on his line. Callaghan again. Second opportunity. Riley's in the middle. Clements couldn't hold it. No foul. And another corner. Certainly must be awkward for goalkeepers with men of the size and height of George Riley around. Here he is again on the near post. They call him the Condor. He swoops in on goal. One of several nicknames that he has, in fact. Callaghan again with the corner. There was Riley. Appeal for hands by some of the Watford players. I must say from this angle it was impossible to tell. The referee is right on the spot. And in fairness, the arguments certainly weren't too prolonged. Callaghan again with the cross. Clements is underneath it. It's gone in. An almighty scramble. Terry with the header there, and it's gone over the line for the goal. That brings Watford back into this game. There's Terry jumping there. In fact, it went in off Miller. But certainly Terry's goal. Clements couldn't hold it. Now jumped by Terry. And Watford have got a goal back. Well, what a match we have on now. "17 minutes into the second half, and Steve Terry, it's his 4th of the season. He'll take particular delight from that one. Let's open this game up again. Watford 1, Tottenham 2. And it's developing into an explosive match. Miller only half clearing it, giving it straight here to Barnes. Riley's in the middle. Here's Riley. Oh! Clements stuck firm that time, but only just over the head of Riley. He came steaming in. Barnes with the cross, pulling it away. Just over Riley, and Clements is there. Watford making the substitution. Callahan has gone off. And on comes young Warren Sterling, who's made quite an impact this season. And he was the Southern nominee for the Young Player of the Month award. The overall award eventually going to Harry Venison of Sunderland. Tottenham so anxious for the win today that would keep them on course for the championship they would so dearly love to win. Haven't won the title, remember, since 1961. Peter Shreves believes he's built a side now capable of winning the title. They haven't won this game yet. Jacket. Perriman away, and here's Rostron. Spotted the opening well. Here's Jacket. Now for Barnes. There's no way past Stevens there. Jacket's found one. Here's Rostron. Defenders diving in all over the shop at the moment. But here's Barnes. Clements just got a hand to it. Always the favourite, despite the presence of Riley. Clements just did enough. All crossed in by Barnes. Oh, Riley! What a scramble! No way past. Norwich pushed Riley. Almost had a chance then. Just listen to the support of this crowd. Clements has come for this one. Somehow Tottenham got it away. The danger hasn't passed yet. There's Riley. Shot was from Terry. Clements behind it. And Steve Terry very nearly getting his second. Cleland. The referee has had a good look at the watch. There really can't be much time left now. What a match. There indeed goes the final whistle. Tottenham's championship ambitions remain firmly intact. Their fifth away win. Steve Terry brought Watford back into the game after goals from Falco and Crooks had given Tottenham a 2-0 lead. Terry's goal ensured a grandstand finish. And what entertainment here for a crowd of around 25,000. But it's Tottenham who won. Delight there for Peter Shreves, although not much showing on his face. But it's 2-1 for Tottenham, and they've taken the 3 points.
So a terrific game with some great atmosphere to it, and a victory that keeps Spurs in second place. All the top four winning this weekend, of course. Southampton's defeat at Coventry mean there's now a 4-point gap opening up there. Well, coming up next, the sort of action Bobby Robson saw at Newcastle yesterday as they faced Norwich City. That's after the break.
Left foot finding Megson, flicked on again, and Wharton didn't really make the most of that.
Welcome back. And now it's Newcastle United against Norwich City from St James's Park. And a big weekend for the Newcastle striker Chris Waddle. He was 24 on Friday. Yesterday could well have been just as important in his football career.
Chris Waddle is in dynamic form for Newcastle this season. 12 goals so far, but he says he's not ready yet for England consideration. Even so, the England manager, Bobby Robson, is in the crowd here at St James's Park today, no doubt running his eye over Chris as well as others. Well, it's a Newcastle side that's without Neil MacDonald on the right flank. He's got an ankle injury. However, striker Peter Beardsley has recovered from a groin strain. He teams up with Waddle. And Gary Megson, who never got so much as a game at Nottingham Forest, is in the midfield. Norwich have a main striker fit. John Dean returns after missing one game. He's top scorer with 11 and has had a thigh injury. And for Mick Shannon, it's 2 years to the very week that he joined Norwich. Remember, he came here to Newcastle on a 2-month loan before that. So much experience with Mick and with Asa Hartford, now with Norwich at least until the end of the season. The referee is Roger Dilks of Mossley in Lancashire. And it's Norwich who kick off in yellow shirts, green shorts, attacking the goal to our right. Newcastle, of course, in those famous magpie stripes of black and white. Ben Roeder quickly putting the ball into touch for a throw to Norwich, whose away form really has let them down this season. They've only won one away game, and that was quite a notable scalp away to Sheffield Wednesday. It's Big Dave Watson. Looks as though he might try a long throw into that Newcastle penalty area. Beardsley losing out again. Watson a deep cross, but the flag was up on the far side for an offside against Dale Gordon. So Dave Watson goes back, and Newcastle get the goal kick. Waddle just keeping that in. Pat Hurd playing it on. It's Wharton once more. Challenged fiercely by Hartford, but Saunders playing it in once more towards Mixon. And now with Peter Beardsley. Ricochet very nearly coming their way, and in the end the shot by Beardsley going off the Norwich defender for a Newcastle corner. Deflection certainly put Watson in a bit of trouble. Mixon was attacking him, and Beardsley's shots coming off the defender for the corner. And here comes that corner now taken by Peter Beardsley, and Mixon just glanced it with his header, and Downs will get it away to Gordon. Brown, Waddle. Comes to Dean, courtesy of Chris Waddle. Flicked by him now as Mendham takes it up. And it needed a save. Peter Mendham, the number 5. That number 5 shirt has been a bit of a jinx on Norwich this season. Stephen Bruce and Dave Watson both had it. Both committed own goals. Mendham said, I'll take it, and has been hitting the right sort of shots the other way. Now for Mixon. And he almost got that through for Wharton, in spite of a very strong challenge again by Bruce. Downs getting it away, not very far. Mixon again, just dinking one in. That time it's Watson with the header. And it's going to be Newcastle's throw. What? Again the back heel. Mixon turning it in, and Norwich at full stretch to get it away. And then giving the ball again to Newcastle, but it was a strange one, that. And Bruce getting it clear. The fullback Haylock. Inside for Peter Mendham. Chance for a break here for Norwich, with Donomer clear on the right and Dale Gordon on the left. Shannon waiting in the middle. And in the end, Newcastle had to concede the corner. Dale Gordon will take it, and both Watson and Bruce have come forward from the back. Little flick on there, and turn once more, and a goal! Well, it was an extraordinary goal, scored by Donowa, and one that Newcastle surely will regret. Turned over there, and Norwich City go into the lead.
The scorer of Norwich City's first goal, number 7, Louis Donowa.
So a goal kick to Newcastle. Chris winning it again in the air. And there he is once more, but that time it falls to Mixon. Now Beardsley. Oh, passed Downs beautifully. He's got such beautiful close control, but that time Downs was given time to get back. And so it's Newcastle's throw. Brown. Wharton slipping. Well, here comes Mixon. And now it's Wharton. And it's just wide of that Norwich goal again. And a corner given. Kenny Wharton again right in there, but Mixon doing some good work there. What a splendid little ball that was. And it must have just stripped off Mike Shannon and gone behind. Mixon a little chip in there. And now a chance of a break for Norwich City. Donovan gets it through, or rather Gordon gets it through to Hartford, and Gordon again with Dean waiting in the middle, and Carr down. To break this by Norwich, Donovan's shot really in the end causing not too many problems.
So 1-0 to Norwich at half-time, and more excitement coming up as we join the second half.
And here come Newcastle again. Bird giving it to Watford. Left foot finding Mixon, flicked on again, and Wharton didn't really make the most of that, and as you saw, he went on and kicked the goalpost in his frustration. It was a lovely Newcastle move, and it looked odds on the equaliser coming. A lovely flick on by Mixon, and Wharton putting it past, well, he's not putting it past the keeper, but going past himself to kick the post in his anger. Downs getting in before Beardsley. Roeder again for Newcastle. Watson to Shannon. Cut out by Saunders. Oh, what a lovely ball, and Waddle's on his way, and is equalised. Well, when he gets it in this position, and he gets it onto that left boot, Woods had no chance.
Number 9, Chris Waddle.
So delights at St James's Park. Their hero Chris Waddle makes it 13 for the season, and more important, 1-1 on the day. Just below me, Jack Charlton's gone out of the director's box to go down to the bench to make a little adjustment somewhere, no doubt. Newcastle manager. And in the meantime, he won't be seeing this as Anderson comes forward. And he finds Waddle superbly on that left flank, and a bit of acceleration again by Waddle, and it forces a corner. His running at times is quite exhilarating. Here he is again on the ball. Little chip in. Roeder trying to get it back again. And it's a keeper's ball. And we just see Jack Charlton getting into the bench to be a bit nearer the action. Shannon. It's a good game now. And Brown could have been in trouble. Oh, my goodness. Defender and goalkeeper at odds with each other. And Norwich City, as a result, get a corner. A bit of edginess there. Malcolm Brown getting it back. It was a clumsy sort of back pass. Then he ducked under it, and it comes off him, as you can see, for the corner. So Downs will take it. Played deep towards Bruce. Got the header in, but he climbed all over Anderson as he went up. And Norwich are making a substitution. Bruce getting up for this one, but alleged to be climbing all over the defender. So Dennis Van Wyck comes on, who's 22 years old tomorrow, a Dutchman, and the number 11, Dale Gordon, comes off. Anderson. Almost lost out to Donowa. And then hits a splendid ball to Waddle on the far side. Almost a lazy pass there to Roda. Good save by Woods. See the anguish there from Glenn Roda. He thought that one had got past the keeper to put Newcastle into the lead. It was a lovely touch again by Waddle. And the big defender striding up there, hitting a good ball, saved well by the keeper. So the official gate here today, 20,030, which just before Christmas says an awful lot for the football following fans up here in the northeast. So the corner with Beardsley. And headed off the line by Haylock. Roda again, right up in there. And what looked to be a beautifully placed header, just knocked off the line by a prodigious leap from Paul Haylock.
1-1 it finished after a really exciting second half then. That's all for this week. But what about young Chris Waddle? Well, the Norwich manager, Ken Brown, says that everything he touches seems to turn to gold. Jack Charlton forecasts a place in the England squad by the summer. Bobby Robson saw him yesterday on his birthday weekend. Who knows what will happen by Chris Waddle's next birthday? Good afternoon.